5. Happy Monday to everyone. Hopefully you're rested from the weekend. You're ready to get to work this week. I'm going to go over what we're going to work on over the course of Monday and Tuesday here. It's lesson 4 underneath the fake news unit. I'm just on the first hour here. It's obviously not live yet because it's going to go out on Monday. There'll also be this video in here as well. We got the slides and you have the assignment. I'm going to go over to the slides quickly here. I'm not overly long, so it's not going to take me that long to go over this. So let this load here. All right. So lesson 4 in the fake news unit is all about recognizing hoax and satire sites. So we're going to go over what those are today so that make sure that you know the difference. Okay. The essential question, okay, how do I recognize hoax and satire sites? That's exactly what I just said. Thank you, slides. Okay. There's 2 videos on here just to get us a warm up. I'm not going to play them here because they get all messed up in the videos. Maybe I'll play this in class for the hybrids. If virtual students, if you want to just take a look at the slides and go and watch these videos, they're pretty funny. This one, if you see, is our Valiant Video Games Preparing Kids for the Apocalypse. Basically, it's a panel of people who work for The Onion arguing how video games are going to adequately prepare their youth for an apocalyptic scenario. It's pretty funny. And then the second video here is from the Jimmy Kimmel Show, where they walk around with the most ridiculous things, asking people the most ridiculous questions, false headlines, false information, and no one's picking up on it. So it's another video you can watch. I'm basically introducing the 2 concepts. In the past, I've discussed this question, what makes people fall for misinformation? And that's all what hoax is about. So here's some ways to recognize hoax sites. Is fake or hoax sites. Again, these are ones that are meant to deceive. They're completely fake. They'll often add a suffix to the URL. So instead of abcnews.com, it might be abcnews.com.co. Some sites will add a word to the name of the legitimate site. Most people won't catch these differences and will read the news as if it is real. For example, Christian Times newspaper is often confused with Christian Times. One fake, one real. Another way to look for it is look for links to their sources. You always have to have links to a source. Hoax sites are unlikely to have any type of bibliography. They won't tell you at all where they got their information or links to any other place where you could look and see, okay, check the facts that are in that article. I'll look for a byline. That's basically where it holds like the author information, date of publication, that sort of thing. If there's no author or all the articles written by the same person, that's maybe something that or a red flag that should be going up in your mind saying, okay, this maybe is not a real site. Now, I have this slide in here. Recently, within the last year or 2, there's been a collective effort through some internet licensing groups that have worked to discredit and take down a lot of the pre-existing fake news sites. So on the ones that I talked about in, like the Christian Times newspaper and the ABC News, .com.co, those have actually been taken down. You can no longer go there. So there is an effort to do that. Also, a lot of them probably, if you're on your school issue Chromebooks, securely probably won't even allow you to go there, which is good, I guess. But it's still good to know and recognize the different criteria and different things to look for. I have in here, though, it still doesn't mean that they don't exist or that they'll continue to pop up. Or you might get them confused with fringe sources where information may be so construed that it's very far from the truth. So it's good to still kind of know and recognize those different signs for hoax sites. All right, next is satire. Satirical sites are not trying to deceive, so hoax is just trying to be fake. Satire is meant to be funny, meant to be humorous. It's often a commentary on human nature, social things, politics, people. That's usually the subject of their articles. It should be pretty easy to spot satire, but people still get up in arms on Facebook when they see headlines like this. Okay, so new study finds 85% of Americans don't know all the dance moves to national anthem. This was debated on Facebook as like people were going back and forth and saying how ridiculous how ridiculous this was, or I can't believe there were dance moves, or I feel like I didn't know there's dance moves. Completely false. This was a satirical article meant to be funny. Okay, and they were treating it like it was a real headline. Just so you know, there are no dance moves. Okay, here's another example here. It says, if I'm on here again, there I am. Okay, rowdy grandma double fisting grandchildren. There's that rowdy grandma there. In Valdosta, Georgia, urging the feisty senior to pace herself, concerned Jackson family sources confirmed Wednesday that rowdy grandmother Arlene Jackson was seen careening around her son-in-law's birthday party, double fisting grandchildren. Nana's got her arms so full of grandbabies that she's practically falling over. She needs to slow down, said Jackson's daughter Olivia, echoing the sentiments of other adult party guests as they witnessed the manic 77-year-old cover her infant grandson with kisses before moving on to pinch the cheeks of 4 other grandchildren. She already had both of my nieces on her lap when she snatched baby Charlie out of my hands. We told her to take it easy, but she stamped over in loud whisper that she knows her limits. I mean, other people want to see the kids too, but Arlene is just not handing them over. Jackson was later seen slumped over in a recliner with several toddlers strewn about her feet, evidently passed out after several hours of binge kissing. Okay, so The Onion is a satirical website. This is not a real article. Everything about this is completely made up. These aren't real people. This is like generated stock photos I think that they find or people get access to. None of this is real. Okay? I'll talk about the purpose of this in a second. Jump back to the slides here. All right. Actually, that is my segue. Sorry, that is a segue to the assignment. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so back on Google, there's the chart here. This is the assignment that you need to complete. Of course, I make a video. That's when everything wants to take 80 years to load. All right, so here is your assignment, okay? It says use the links listed below to explore some popular hoax satire websites. After exploring the sites, pick 2 articles to focus on to complete the rest of this assignment, which is to complete the chart below, both green and pink sides. There's a model in yellow beneath your chart that I filled out for the article I shared in the lesson, one about the rowdy grandma, to help you see how the chart should be filled in. Mostly you need to help me see that you can either identify hoax or satire. Remember, hoax is fake to deceive, to trick. Satire is fake to criticize or poke fun at a person, a concept, an occasion, an instance of political or social culture. It's often humorous. It's really supposed to be about humor. Okay, some of them are like, I said often humorous because some people think that they're mean, but again, it's supposed to be funny. So here's some links there to those 3 different sites. I told you that hoax sites are becoming less and less common. To give you a hint, and because I love you for actually watching the video, these are all actually satire sites. So, little hint. Okay, so you have to complete these 2 charts. Pick an article, 2 articles from one of these 3 sites. Give me the source. Is it from the Babylon Bee, the Onion, or Spoof? Title of the article. Is it hoax or satire? Again, you should be putting satire down. Key quotes from the article to help distinguish hoax or satire, and then explain if the article should be considered a hoax or why it should be considered satire, referencing your key quote or quotes above, the ones you put here. All right, here's the model to help you. There's a link to that same article. We read about the grandma. Okay, the Onion, rowdy grandma, double fisting. Satire, here's some key quotes. Nana's got her arms so full of grandbabies that she's practically falling over. She needs to slow down. That's a quote from The Relative. Charlie had both of my nieces on her lap when she snatched baby Charlie out of my hands. We told her to take it easy, but she stamped over in loud whisper that she knows her limits. Another quote from another relative. All right, explain. The article's example of satire. Okay. How do you know, Shadrada? For it to be satire, I have to recognize that the article is fake or not factual, but also that is using humor or absurdity. Some things are absurd. Okay, that's another indication that it's satire. To criticize or poke fun at something. The headline helped to jumpstart my analysis because who would talk about grandmothers that way? Who would use that kind of language to describe their grandmother? I certainly wouldn't. My grandmother's an angel. No, she's 94. She's a little cranky, but I would never say that to her face. All right. Then in the article, it featured some of the guests at the party noticing the grandma's behavior, quotes above, taking something that is supposed to be a lighthearted family event and turning it into a noteworthy news story about how relatives were worried that their grandmother was trying to grandma too much, makes it clear to me that the article is trying to poke fun at those grandmas who some might see as being obsessed with spending time with their grandchildren, and that the article should not be taken seriously. Okay, so that's all we're looking for when you guys complete these charts. Have fun with it. There's some hilarious things on here. Find two that you want to use, fill out the two charts, and then make sure you go back. This button eventually will say view assignment. Make sure you submit that before Tuesday night, 11:59 p.m. If you have any questions, just let me know.